So to put this in perspective, forgive me for being a little bit out of breath. I've been cutting grass and running the weed eater. I'm filming this at exactly the time last week's video is going live on the air on YouTube. And this crying ass dog. I ain't leaving you nowhere, and you got your little human in there. Oh, it's a lot of work keeping this grass cut. There are not even words, oh my God, for how refreshed I feel right now. I've been out here for almost 2 months, okay? I've been out here longer than anybody else who's been here, part of my family. My kid's been here for about a month. My mother's been here on and off for the better part of, I'll say, 2 weeks. And my wife was here for 2 weeks and a weekend. So I've been here for almost 2 full months myself. And I've been having an issue with the shower in the in the master bedroom that it was only getting hot water. And so I spent some time yesterday crawling around underneath the house looking like, okay, did they maybe just not run a cold line? Because that wouldn't surprise me the way that this house was built if they just didn't, if they only ran hot. But when I moved in, we finally got the water going. The hot water heater was turned all the way up to 100, I think it's 155 or 165 degrees, whatever the maximum temperature is. And we only had hot water. So like the first time I tried to shower in this house, I nearly burned myself to death. Like it was bad. So then I then adjusted the hot water heater down for when the wife took a shower so that it was just hot enough for her to take a shower. Well, I've been dealing with it like that now for 2 months. And I get up under the house, and it's got a blue line running to it, and it's tied into the same blue line that supplies cold water to the sink and cold water to the toilet. So why am I not getting, you know, it's got 3 T's in it, and like, why am I not getting? So I went down to the hardware store, and I asked the guys, because that's blatantly where it came from, because it's the only faucet they sell in that hardware store, that you have like 2 options of everything. And it's a single handle rotation piece, and it was only moving like 45 degrees, right? And so they tell me about this little thing on the inside of it. So I come home and I take the thing apart after watching a YouTube video. There's a little blue thing in there about yay big that sits on the shaft, and there's the pin for where the valve is was at the 6 o'clock position, and it closed. It should be at 9 o'clock. But the water goes off at the 6 o'clock position. So I pulled that thing out, and it spun a whole another 180 degrees. That 180 degrees was the cold water. Somehow they found a spot in there where neither the cold or the hot were on at the 6 o'clock position. And so it was going from 6 to 12 is all the more that the faucet rotated, right? Pulled that thing out, spun it all the way back, put the limiter back in it. It now goes from 9 to 12. And oh my God, I just took a cold shower with this water coming out of the side of this mountain. If I had to make a guess, that water ain't more than maybe 45 degrees. It's cold like Pacific Ocean water. Oh, and it's so nice. And it's a hot day. It's almost 90 degrees currently, and the only air conditioning we have in the house is in my bedroom. Regardless, outside, hot and miserable. I just got done weed eating. Let me turn the camera around and show you what I was doing over there. So in addition to cutting the grass today, I ran the weed eater over there, and I've decided that that's the area that I'm going to try to section off for the garden, at least for this season. I got that area weed eated down. I got a pile of brush over there I got to move. But if you look, I got my first hole dug and my first pole sunk in the ground to build a proper fence. And that's what I'm going to be working on tomorrow before the sun hits the yard. Because once the sun hits the yard, it's hot, hot, hot up here. But it's nice and cool in the morning. So there it is. best part about living out here on a dirt road. Yee yee! So I was just driving along down the side of the road, and this stop sign with that number on it had no business being where it was at. So I'm hoping that they replaced that stop sign and it fell off the back of a service truck. It doesn't appear that anybody hit it. Like, it's in good shape. It's got some ants on it. It's got a couple of bee holes, but it doesn't appear anybody hit it. But it was laying on the side of the road where it had no business laying on the side of the road. So of course I took it home. I found that in the garbage yesterday too. The leg's right there. I just got to put it back together. Look who it is.
What'd you find?
What's it look like? It was laying on the side of the road where it had no business being. It wasn't attached to anything. It was literally just laying on the side of the road. So
Not on roadside.
no, actually, wow, it is. I didn't even think about that. Wow. But no, it was laying on the side of the road down there by the cow pasture. I actually just got a little bit of video of more cows doing adult things. But yeah, I got a stop sign. Look, I mean, nobody...
It's our stop sign.
Well, I picked it up off the side of the road. Maybe I go reinstall it. I don't know. All right, so it's just a little bit later in this evening. It's not next day like I thought. We gave the dog a bath. I had to take a shower. Because I'm the one that has to hold him in the bath by the back of his neck and blah, 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 blah. So I spoke on the last video about how I felt like I needed to lower expectations for myself as far as what I get accomplished week to week, and I don't necessarily know that I need to lower the expectations of what it is I'm trying to do here every week, or if I need to kind of look around at the reality that I'm currently living. To which the reality that I'm currently living is that this house is fully functional and livable, and I'm doing maintenance. Like, I need to do some work on the kids' room. I don't have the $600 right now to blow to fix these subfloors in her room. Like, that's a thing. Plywood is really expensive, and I need to do subfloors in her room, and I don't, as much money as I just spent fixing my truck, and we spent on, I don't even want to talk about how much money I've spent in relation to how much money is left. So I don't have any money left to do fuck all other than like $50 or $60 projects here or there, and we're here. But I've made this place a livable establishment where I've got like daily, I'm like not having to knock shit out, but I've got daily chores. Like, I have to sweep the floors, I gotta do dishes, I gotta do laundry, I gotta this, I gotta that. I still don't have a dryer hooked up because, well, there's no dryer vent in the kitchen, and I want to move the laundry room to a different space. So I'm washing and line drying clothes. But I should feel accomplished in that I'm living here in this house with my daughter and our dog, and I've hosted my mother, and my wife has been here on several occasions, and like, I have made this place, there's nothing about this place that isn't livable. That, like, if somebody wanted to come over and visit, I could make them up a bed on the couch. They'd have a comfy place to stay. And I need to relish in the fact that I've done that with this place in relation to where I was on the first day, where I literally just wanted to curl up in a ball and die. But when you're doing day-to-day maintenance, that only gives you so much time to go out and do things on the land. And we took a day trip, and I'm filming for the month of freedom. And I don't stop. I work every day. I may not have a job currently, but I work every day for 12, 14, sometimes 16 hours a day, depending on what I'm doing, to get where I'm at. And it's that in itself is an achievement. That, like, I have housework that is maintenance. There's 3 minutes and 52 seconds of your life that you will never get back. Not a complete thought, just a thought. Here's today's random shit you find while running the lawnmower. I'm just trying to keep up with this. I got parts. Well, I got a part for the big lawnmower, but it wasn't right. However, there's enough stuff there to fix the old parts. Anyway, the kid and I have been putting them on a shelf over here. Let me show you the other things that we've found. Alright, so we got this little spot on the shelf. Maybe one day I'll get to washing these things. This is an old milk jug, medicine jug, Coke bottle, not a clue. Looks like a little Sunny D. She found that yesterday, walking in the creek. Yeah, these are just random old things that you find in your yard. Alright, so I'm kind of on the fence as to what I'm going to do with this portion here, because I've established that where this wet ground is at, I still have yet to see a couple of seeds come up. I'm waiting on that, but hey, dog, get out of there. What I'm on the fence about is whether or not I'm going to build a fence. I dug a hole and put a pole in the ground the other day, and I was going to start making a fence, but now the wife found some 7-foot tall like deer mesh, but she's not going to be here for another 3 weeks. And I'm trying to decide if hey, I gotta try to keep him out of there, man. If I'm gonna just put poles in and wait for the mesh to get here before I start planting, or if I build an actual fence out of logs. I have to sit and contemplate that. But worst case, I can get the soil turned over and what have you over there. I got to be careful digging in there though, because I don't know where the line for my water is. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing there yet. But I got all this mowed out and weed eated this morning. This takes the better part of half a morning to do, it seems. Like, hey, there's the kitty way down there. But yeah, like I was saying in the other video, like just keeping what you've got maintained is work in itself. I'm not making any forward progress. I'm just maintaining what I've already done. But I need a day or so to think about what I'm doing with poles over here. And what do we have here? A brand new screen door, because bugs in Virginia are a thing. I don't even think I'm going to bother to stain that. I'm just going to hang it, because fuck the bugs. Whew. Playing Ghostbusters with my vacuum in the living room, chasing flies around. So I bought the kids some poppets, because, you know, this dog. And when she's done, the dog digs around there for like 20 minutes. It's hilarious. Alright, so today's project, because I got a window guy coming, somebody to come give me an estimate on windows. I started with an old bucket and a rag. Started washing the siding. There's still some spots in the corner over there I need to go over, but you can see this hole. Perhaps I get closer over here. You can see all this mold, and I've made it to about there. It's a lot of work, man. You got to wash each one like 5 times, but it's coming along. I'm thankful for how far it's come along, but I still got this whole wall. Now, I'm not going to go so far as to say that the cat and the dog are friends, but they're sure occupying similar space at the same time and not bothering each other. Look, they're both in the same shot. I came in, well, they actually were both in my bedroom at the same time last night. Kitty don't care. And the dog's over there. This might not seem like much, but to the rest of the world, these two animals are sharing space. Neither one of them is doing anything. And then there was paint. If you had any idea how much caulking I had to use, boy, oh boy, to get that done and painted. Those are some shirts that my mother bought for my kid once upon a time that she doesn't want, that I've yet to take to a Goodwill or a clothing bank. I'm going to go out back, flip this thing around, and end this video. Alright, so this will be the end of, it's been 2 months. I know numerically the first is on Tuesday, but when you count the weeks and the day of the week that we got here, the dog is trying to figure out how to open the screen. It's been 2 months, because we got here on a Friday 8 weeks ago. I haven't made any more progress worth filming out that way, out toward the dirt, other than there's the whole area where the campsite is at. All the hey, look, he figured it out. Where I want to be able to have the campsite and probably camp out there myself, just because I can. I love camping and I have enough space to do so. All those trees have been cut down and they're just laying there. They need to be gathered, and then I need to run the piece of equipment out there. But it's been a lot of work just maintaining this grass with that little push mower and the weed eater, especially now that it's hot. So like I'm limited, like my outdoor activities are limited until about 11:30, 12 o'clock. It gets too hot to be in the yard in the direct sunlight, and there's not much shade, and there's been no breeze lately. It's been super humid, so I've been utilizing that time to work on that closet inside. I got some stuff to work on the kids' closet. We went and got her a haircut today. That took 4 hours. We went to 5 different places before we finally ended up at a Walmart because Google thinks there's hair salons in the middle of a trailer park or in the parking lot of a church. The one that we found that was actually a salon wasn't even open. That took all morning. Got 2 weeks until the wife gets back up here, and at that time I'll have some relief with some of the household things, and I'll be able to get out and do more in the mornings out on the land itself. I'm still working on just getting the underbrush cleared and the garbage picked up. Has been the hard part. I bought an attachment for my weed eater that was supposed to help with that, and it didn't fit. There's a whole lot of me talking in this video and not a lot of stuff going on. I apologize for that. I've spent a lot of time driving around this week, just trying to chase things down. Like it took me, that screen door, it took me a day to find it and install it. Everything is slow going. Like you start someplace where you assume that they're going to have what you're looking for, and they don't have it. Then you go to the next place, and they don't have it in the next place, and eventually, 45 miles down the road, you find it. You know, and then it's an hour back to the house, and then you got to cut the screen to fit. And anyway, not trying to be negative, I promise. I'm looking at this place in a much better way than I was when I first got here, for absolute sure. So, that'll be it for now. Thank you for watching, if you've made it this far. Have a good weekend. Catch you on Sunday morning with the nature video in the chat. Till next week.